Hello everybody, welcome to All Four Queens. Hope everyone's doing well on this crisp morning. Well, it's not morning now, is it? It's quite late afternoon here in the UK. But yeah, I hope you're all doing well. Hope you're doing whatever you need to be doing today. I was just sitting there today and I was doing some work and just lots of things happen, and there's a couple of things that came through which is a really old piece in the Bible, but I'm not going to do that before I do this one. And the reason why is because I think this one will lead on to all the other ones, but the next one I do will lead on as well, because I think that they're trying to get me to relate scripture to modern day. So this particular one, I said previously I'd done twin flames and I'd done third party, and before I could even upload it, it got taken. I just lost it, you know. I couldn't even upload it in my laptop, it just disappeared. But that was at the time when Every Man and His Dog was in my laptop. So I've redone it, and before we get into it, I've gone through the Bible, and there is no definitive detail in the Bible about twin flames. So what I looked at, because I like to do a little bit of my research before, so it's been stated that it's New Age spiritualism, but however the Bible does refer in Matthew 19:6 about man and a woman. There were two and then they become one. So take that as it resonates, but there's nothing really in the Bible that actually refers to twin flames per se. So I'm just going to read what I've written. So in terms of the twin flame connection and of high level soulmate, usually meet when they're younger. Now bear in mind that doesn't mean it can be this lifetime, past lifetime. Like I said before, everything's like, it is what it is, isn't it? The DF has an inner knowing, but still has her lessons to learn to clear her karmic debt, including the generational curses, because obviously we're all curse breakers as well, aren't we? She tends to chase because whilst she does not fully understand the feelings towards her twin, she is magnetically drawn to them, and at the same time repulsed by the ego and arrogance of the person or the energy. The twin, DM, is most likely drawn into and consumed by the world, hence the matrix twin, tied up in the world of illusions of what's outside of us opposed to what's inside of us. Less emotionally attuned to the connection because of the ego being their divine force. The spiritual twin, who is highly intuitive, whilst a divine connection, the matrix twin may not consider the spiritual twin as marriage material because of their perception to the world and its image. The matrix twin is usually tempted by this weakness, lacking in intuition for the ego. Easily manipulated by one's own ego, the matrix twin knows subconsciously and will have a soft spot for the spiritual twin that they do not understand, which is the spiritual connection. And obviously we know there's other things that go on with the spiritual connection. Hence the complete differences the person God has may not be one's type. Stature, culture, religion, etc. The connection can hold many gifts between the two, although the matrix twin is easily triggered by the spiritual twin because of their heightened ego. They tend to hear criticism from the spiritual twin, opposed to the wisdom and guidance the spiritual twin is trying to give. Because bear in mind, although we're separated, we are connected. So, as I said before, energetically, there's nothing I don't know. Although people think that there is, and that's why they keep throwing all this stupid stuff out. Remember, the spiritual twin is more connected and has an inner knowing of truth. They just may not voice it until due time, which is divine timing. The DF is usually blocked and ghosted, as it's a way of the DM not having to deal with the healing of being triggered over and over, to shine a spotlight on what needs to be looked at and healed, hence running. So normally in these types of connections, and I wouldn't necessarily say it's just twin flame connections, I suppose it's any relationship really, but what normally happens is the matrix twin tends to get more triggered by what the spiritual twin will say, because the spiritual twin is just going to say it as it is. No sugarcoating, no fluffing it up. And they get more triggered because they blow up or get angry or whatever, because it's easier to get angry than it is to look within and do the work and heal. Hence, you know, why they keep running, the chase of the runner. But then they get to a point where the spiritual twin just surrenders, you know, because it can go on for years. I mean, I say years, I mean, I know there's a lot of people that go, oh, but you've got to be healed to understand the whole connection, that it's a divine connection, and you've got to be clear and healed to understand the significance of it. It's not just about the vessels that we're in, it's about the spiritual side of it. So it's about the spirit, and if you look at some of my earlier ones, I talk about the spirit. So it's about all that, because obviously they've gone on for years and years and years and years and years, and it's quite poignant when we're in the book of Revelations as to why it's so important. And so you can understand, and I'll carry on, but you can understand why there are so many forces, and I'm going to say energies, because, you know, we do not fight the flesh, we fight everything else. There are so many forces trying to keep, one, divine beings out of their inheritance, which I've talked about before previously, and two, they're not coming together, because obviously together they're stronger. Hence why they don't want it. And obviously for thousands of years, as we've talked about Satan and the way that he's been on roaming around on the planet, there's been a shift, hasn't there? There's been more dark than there is light, and the ones that should be in the light have been sitting in the dark thinking that that's their purpose, when actually they just haven't awakened. But when the DF awakens, when she awakens, the DMs awaken, because it's just part of the spiritual 5D connection that happens, and it's spiritual, you know, because like I say, we're spirit. This is just a vessel, isn't it? I know it sounds quite deep, but it is, and that's why I read scripture as well, because although scripture is old, it still refers to who we are as a spirit, and then the rest of it is around that. So, the runner tends to settle for the matrix existence, remaining in a karmic, unhealed energy. I'm going to try not to use the word karmic so much, which is why they tend to settle with an easier partner now, which can be a soulmate, who they may marry and have a family with, and that can be for the DF as well. However, what I will say there is, what you've got to remember, and this is why when all this crazy stuff's going on and people are looking from emotions rather than the actual what it is in terms of, you know, the significance of it, they may be contracted, they may have a soul contract to do that, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that, because that's what I said in one of my very, very early ones. I said everyone we meet is either a blessing or a lesson. So we've either got a contract with them or a tie of some sort. And the whole purpose of the generational curses and the karmic debt is to understand whether that energy is a lesson in this lifetime or a blessing. And if it's a lesson, then you have to figure out how you're going to close that cycle out so you can move to the next one, if that makes sense. Because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So they may marry and have a family with, as contracted. We also need to be aware that the blocks and obstacles are put in place by external energies, people whose sole purpose on this planet is to stop the divine connections at all costs, to go against God's divine plan for humanity. Remember, prophecy in the Revelations is about God's plan to save the human race. Hence, all the gang stalking, the way, you know, the jealousy, the envy, the lies, the manipulation, the deception, the blocking, the sex is used as a weapon, and, you know, all the spell work that's used to block people's intuition and to try and swap destinies round and things like that. That's why they do it. If both parties have matured in spirit, they may reunite years later after a separation. It may be platonic. However, I've done a bit of research on this, and I can't find anywhere where it says a twin flame or a high level soul connection are of the same sex. They are definitely, and as stated in the Bible, man and woman. So unless anyone can correct me on that, but that's what it's definitely stated as. They are opposite sexes. This can only separation. This can only happen if both parties have learnt the karmic lessons, cleared past and present karmic debt to find the balance within, light and dark, feminine and masculine, and close out old cycles. They will enable both twins to seek a reunion that fulfills God's destined plan and will whilst building a deeper bond, 5D bond, to further heal. Not all twins are put together to be lovers. Twins have a divine purpose. They have a choice and free will. They just do not have the choice of their consequences. It is usual for the DF to awaken first, which triggers the DM, who is usually fighting to get out of the matrix once he's awakened, and is usually in a tower. Once they see it is an illusion and a delusion, the soul seeks more meaning at the same time, intense feelings of being overwhelmed. So what tends to happen is, I mean, obviously, you know, if you've been through a dark night of the soul, I mean, I did, but I wasn't in a tower, I was outside of it. So I was it was easy. Not, I wouldn't say it was easy, because it's not easy at all, but it was a lot less chaotic to go through my dark night of the soul, although I did have all these external things going on that other people were trying to create to stop me from awakening, to stop me from ascending. So the more pressure they were trying to put on me to try and keep me on a low vibration, they thought they were going to stop me from ascending. But what they didn't realise is the angels and all the spiritual realm were penetrating all that and protecting that. So I still awakened anyway. And like I said in the previous one, I've awakened for years. So I've been aware of a lot of things for years. I just haven't mentioned it because it wasn't divine timing. And for me, like I said, divine timing is when all the planets are aligned. But also I knew 2024 was a significant year, as they did, but they missed a few steps along the way. And I said in the earlier one, there was a couple of things that they missed that I could have probably helped them with, but I didn't, because obviously my purpose was to awaken and get over the line and do what I'm doing. And obviously I already know some of the stuff, so when I'm guided to share it, I share it. So now, there is another element to this which you don't see in any of the books, but I'm going to read it because, like in some of my readings that I've done with the cards and stuff, there is some spiritual wickedness as well. Is when the twins know who their partner is, but they're trying to control destiny, for want of a better word, and they go against their twin. Big mistake really, because you're not going against the twin, you're going against yourself, because the twin is you. But hey ho, some people learn the hard way. So when they go against their twin, or they try and use the twin, the light of the twin, to cloak themselves in the dark, which a lot of people do, and we'll talk about that in another one, and then do manipulative things to that twin, and sometimes maybe using magic as well, it's not going to bode very well, because you're not just doing it against your twin, you're two split souls, which is one soul. So like I said, when people tap into my energy, I see everything anyway. There's nothing you're not hiding. So it's a bit of a futile exercise really. Hey ho, if you want to waste your time doing it, it's up to you. So yeah, so I think for me, when a twin goes against a twin and they know who the twin is, you've got choices and free will, but you don't have choices and free will of your consequences. And your consequences, like I said, you know, I'm a conduit and I'm also karma, but I don't deliver your karma, God does, and your angels and your ancestors and all the people that have you know, been working behind the scenes in the spiritual realm for these connections to come together. So that's why the justice and the judgment comes in terms of the cards, because obviously that will be what they're talking about upstairs, for want of a better word. So yeah, so that is really about the twin flames. Now obviously you've got 1010, which is the significant numerology numbers that you sometimes see, and 1111 sometimes as well, when it's close to sort of like a union, but also it's an awakening, a spiritual reminder as well. So check them out. You know, if you believe you've got a twin, check them out and have a look and see what you think. But I thought I'd put it out there. And the other thing that I'm going to label it as, excuse me, is I'm going to put twin flames, but I'm also going to put Beauty and the Beast. And the reason for that is because the lighter twin tends to be the beauty, and the not so light matrix twin tends to be the beast. Because I think as well that there's a bit of an entitlement there, but like we say, they operate in the ego. So there's a little bit of entitlement there, that they can do what they want, and then it's okay because you're the twin. Well, actually no, it's not, because you're still under judgment, and you're still responsible to your role and what you do, and obviously, yeah, God and the angels and the recording angels see everything anyway. So I'm not going to say it again because I keep saying just be mindful, but it seems to be my catchphrase, doesn't it? Just be mindful. But yeah, so that's twin flames in my perspective, and like I say, it can go on this lifetime or past lifetimes, and obviously, you know, it's the spirit, not the vessel. It's the spirit that is carried along. When we talk about Jezebel, and we talk about Judas, and we talk about Delilah, they're all spirits. You know, the person that they were originally isn't here today, but the spirit carries on, and it just goes into some other vessel, doesn't it? And until you recognise it and clear out the spirit, then it's gonna remain. So if you think about Jezebel, for instance, it's more temptuous, sexual, so you have to starve that spirit. You have to starve it out, and you have to recognise it for what it is. Do you know what I mean? But I'll do a little bit more on that type of stuff, because it's important, because I think people get so trapped up with these spirits, and they don't realise what they're getting themselves into, and it's just like, it gets a bit messy, doesn't it? But anyway, I hope that was useful, and I'm going to do another one. It's going to be a little bit more in depth. I might have to do it over 3 sessions, because I've just read it myself, and I'm going to have to read it again later, because I understand what they want me to say, but I need to correlate it. And then when I pulled the cards as well, I think it relates to the cards that I did previously about, you know, someone jumped into the relationship. However, there is somebody that's under judgment for messing with the divine connection, but I think they want me to read the scripture alongside explaining the modern day as well. So hopefully that will make sense. But anyway, it just means I have to do a lot of work on it. I have to do a lot of research. But anyway, have a great evening. If I get to do it today, I will. But have a great evening, and I'll see you soon. See you later. Bye. 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 I forgot to mention the 2 songs that kept coming up. I've got 2 songs. Chicago, Hard to Say I'm Sorry, and I'll read the first thing. And then the other one, I'll read it as well, and then I'll just piece this together. Everybody needs a little time away, I heard her say, for each other. Even lovers need a holiday, far away from each other. Hold me now, it's hard for me to say I'm sorry, I just want you to stay. After all that we've been through, I will make it up to you, I promise to. And after all that's been said and done, you're just a part of me, and I can't let go. So that's the Chicago, Hard to Say I'm Sorry. And then there was the other one, which was Justin Bieber. And he's one sorry as well. You got to go and get angry at all of my honesty. You know I try, but I don't do too well when apologies. I hope I don't run out of time. Could someone call me a referee? because I just need one more shot at forgiveness. I know you know that I made those mistakes maybe once or twice, and by twice, by once or twice, I mean maybe a couple of 100 times. So let me redeem, oh myself tonight, because I just need one more shot at second chances. And it says, yeah, is it too late to say that? Is it too late now to say that I'm sorry? So check them out. Might resonate with you as well. You know, if you've got somebody that's trying to communicate but does it through music. Because the one thing that I will always say, if you get a piece of music that pops into your head and you've got no reason, or you start humming something and you start singing, my advice would be go check out the piece of music and then check out the lyrics, because the lyrics is usually telling you something, and it could be from somebody, you know, your intuition is probably heightened a little bit, and it could be for somebody trying to give you a message. So that's just a top tip. Anyway, see you later. Bye.